my God, Zack, you really went there. Zack Snyder has reignited the fires of hope. Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. I am Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends, wives, and especially your boyfriends and your husbands. A very warm welcome to Saturday's edition of the dceu. A very warm welcome to the dceu Daily. Because we are fucking back, baby. Look at that. Should we give this a read? Yeah. A very warm welcome to Saturday's edition of the dceu Daily. Because as I say, we are back. Zack Snyder posted this picture of Henry Cavill, some BTS of Henry Cavill on Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice, which has reignited the blaze of hope, has broken ex-Twitter. Elon has still got the spanner and screwdriver trying to fix Twitter because this post went absolutely insane. It went viral. Snyder fans have been reignited with the hashtags. Gun bros are really angry. The haters are angry. The arguments are happening, all reignited, and Zack Snyder has set a storm. It feels like the old release the Snyder Cut days. The rebellion has risen again thanks to Zack Snyder's post. We have to ask the question because I'm not someone who likes spreading false hope, right? So let's be clear. This could just be a post from a director posting some BTS. But the very deliberate phrase that fans have used many times, that Henry Cavill is Superman, is used by Zack Snyder on this post. In fact, a fan commented on this post and said, Zack, is this really you? Is this for real? Zack replying, fuck yeah. I'm paraphrasing, something along those lines. So, look, Snyder knows exactly what he's doing. So yes, this could be an innocent post, but the fact that it says Henry Cavill is Superman kind of points towards it's not just an innocent piece of BTS. But let's be clear, to Dick Donner, Christopher Reeve was Superman. Unfortunately to Bryan Singer, Brandon Routh wasn't Superman. He was very toxic and blaming Brandon about the financial failure of Superman Returns, which was toxic because I thought that Bryan and Brandon both did a good job in making that movie. But anyway, right? So Tom Welling is Superman to Alfred Gough and Miles Millar, the series producers and creators of Smallville, right? It makes sense. He cast the dude, so to him, Henry Cavill is Superman. But it's a very, very deliberate phrase. So, shall we read, right? Shall we give this a read? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want to support the channel. And always comment and let me know what you're thinking. Just because I don't respond, it doesn't mean I'm not reading the comments. I'm very appreciative for all the interactions I get from you guys on Twitter, at Movies TV Mad. Give us a follow. All the interactions on here, all your support. You were very, very good to me the other day when I had technical difficulties with my video. You weren't toxic. You understood I'm using basic equipment. So thank you very, very much for your compassion about that because I felt terrible. I felt like I let you all down. And so hopefully this video is fine. I will recheck it before I upload it. I won't make that schoolboy error again. So let's give it a read. Zack Snyder, Henry Cavill is Superman. From BVS shot with my monochrome 50mm knock flux, I think that's what it said, knock flux, which is a camera. 3 weeks on Instagram, thanks to everyone. Very, very interesting that Zack Snyder took the decision to go on Instagram because he's back. He's making a multitude of movies. He's making one about the LAPD. I think that's for Netflix. I don't know if that's still happening. I think it is. But he's making a movie called, I forgot what it's called, The Picture or whatever it's called, right? And which is basically, this is a passion project for Zack. So he's taking time out from pre-production or whatever he's doing, principal photography of that film, to post this. But Henry Cavill is Superman is a very, very deliberate sentence coined by the Snyder fans. So, as I say, this could be an innocent post, just showing some BTS, but that is a very deliberate phrase. It's been a very, very interesting few weeks. If you look at the DCU, the Peacemaker 2 has flopped, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because me and my brother were on the phone yesterday talking about Peacemaker 1 and Peacemaker 2. I really liked Peacemaker 1, and that's okay. And he's enjoying Peacemaker 2. I haven't seen it. I'm sure I'm going to think Peacemaker 2 is quite solid. James Gunn is very good at doing that one thing. And as I keep on saying, he should have his little corner doing that one thing. Gunn is good at what he does. And as I say, I really enjoyed Peacemaker 1 because it's kind of a unique little story and it's fine with some fabulous concepts in it, right? It's funny when it needs to be funny and it's dramatic and emotional when it needs to be emotional. So there's a place for James at the DC universe. I no more want Zack Snyder to run DC Studios than I want James Gunn to run DC Studios. You want CEOs, right? People who understand running a studio. Right now, DC Studios isn't a real studio. Marvel Studio was founded as an independent studio, and it's absolutely a real studio. DC Studios is just a logo. They need to turn it into a professional film-making studio, which is not what it is at. So I want Zack Snyder to have his corner at DC Studios. I want James Gunn to have his corner at DC Studios. I want Matt Reeves to have his corner at DC Studios. And I would love some great other writer-directors to have their corners at DC Studios. But I want company businessmen to run a company, which is DC Studios. I want professional CEOs. And directors and writers shouldn't be CEOs of a studio. It's simply not the right way to go. But what does this mean? Basically, as I say, it's been a very interesting week with the revelation that Superman flopped and Peacemaker 2 not doing well. And the fans reacting angrily to Gunn because he was teasing all these cameos. By the way, I'm not going to have a go at James Gunn over the lack of cameos in the Peacemaker 2 season finale, because if cameos and references and Easter eggs are all you're looking for from entertainment, then the problem is with fucking you. Did he conclude Peacemaker 2 satisfactory? Well, talking to people about what happened in the Peacemaker 2 season finale, and I think, spoilers ahead, I think Peacemaker's banished in one of the portals. I think that's kind of exciting. I think that's as exciting as when Clark was trapped in the Phantom Zone in the season 5 Smallville finale. I think that's okay. I think that's fine. So I don't have an issue with that. He shouldn't have promised things he wasn't going to deliver. But if you're pissed off because of a lack of Easter eggs and cameos, the problem is as much with you as it is with James Gunn teasing and promising things that he didn't deliver. Because you should be interested in the story and the character journey. And since the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, and in these 2 seasons, has had a very interesting kind of character evolution. And that's what we're looking for. That's what I want. But forget that. Gunn's good at what he does. He should continue to do what he does with DC, but he shouldn't be running it. And neither should Snyder. What I want is Snyder to be allowed to restore the Snyderverse and work on DC films, right? That's what I want. And this has got everyone excited. Now, as I say, we don't know if Zack knows something that we don't, that he's being allowed to restore the Snyderverse, and that's why he's posting this. Or as I say, is it just an innocent post? Well, the internet has got absolutely insane. A lot of people are excited, and the other half of the DC fandom are triggered because Zack Snyder said Henry Cavill is Superman. So that's pissed a lot of people off, but also made the other people very excited. But it's true. Christopher Reeve is Superman, George Reeves is Superman, the lads who played Superboy are Superboy and Superman. Dean Cain is Superman, despite his politics. That's fucking irrelevant. I don't care about his views. He plays Superman. And for Zack Snyder and Zack's fans and fans of Man of Steel, it's not just Snyder fans who love Henry as Superman. It's a lot of people out there who love Henry Cavill as Superman. So for this generation of people, Henry Cavill is Superman. You know, Tyler Hoechlin is Superman. And yes, David Corenswet is also Superman. Not a Superman I enjoyed watching, but that's not David Corenswet's fault, is it? Everyone has their favourite versions. I don't particularly think I've got the definitive favourite version. I think if you look at Christopher Reeve, he kind of is the definitive Superman. But it's fine to say that Henry Cavill is Superman. If you believe Henry Cavill is the best Superman, that's fine. In your opinion, not the universal factual opinion, but in your opinion, Henry Cavill is Superman. And considering Zack cast him and made 3 movies with him, Henry Cavill is Zack Snyder's Superman. And from Zack's point of view, in his opinion, Henry Cavill is Superman. But of course, Zack knew what was going to happen when he posted this. Like he knew what he was doing when he was pushing the fans to help him release the Snyder Cut. Back in those release the Snyder Cut days, Zack knew exactly what he was doing. So that is very, very interesting. But I want to stay on this subject. I want to read an article from IGN about the possibility of Batgirl being released. It was a film that was cancelled and it was given a tax write-off, which I don't agree with, but I want to keep in the kind of the conversation of what happened to Zack and how they cancelled what he was doing with this conversation, because it's interesting that the people, the publications, Access Media, who have got the energy that, Batgirl shouldn't have been cancelled, it was wrong. Where was your energy when Zack Snyder's Snyderverse was cancelled? We're going to check out that article right now. Hold everything. Don't turn off the video because I'm going to be talking about Batgirl, because this is connected to my conversation with restoring the Snyderverse, right? I made that technical video that went mad, right? I did a video about restoring the Snyderverse and what it would take. And I made the point in that video where the sound went crazy that if I was the new CEO of DC Studios, I would release the Snyder Cut on general cinematic release as an experiment to see if there's an audience for the Snyderverse. Now, I know there's an audience for the Snyderverse, and you do. I know there's a bigger audience for the Snyderverse than there is for the DCU. I know that. But shareholders need convincing. That's the first thing that I would do. So let's read this article about Batgirl. Stay here, because this is all connected to the same conversation, because I actually want to make a point. By the way, I've actually seen the Batgirl movie, and I really, really enjoyed it. There's some modern day representation there and point scoring there, but actually the 2 directors who have done some Bad Boys movies, was it 1 Bad Boys movie they've done or 2? I don't know, but they're really good directors. And by the way, Keaton's amazing in this film. The young lady playing Batgirl, she's brilliant. It's actually a really good film. And the point of cancelling it for a tax write-off was disgusting, because Zaslav was only brought in for one reason: to shave off all the problems with the studio, the financial problems, make redundancies to get it ready to be sold. It's the same reason that Ineos were brought in at Manchester United, to tidy up the company, make some redundancies so it's in fine shape to be sold. It's exactly the same situation. But anyway, Batgirl star has hope for film's eventual release. After it was shelved 3 years ago, Hollywood's a funny place. Let's hope he's right, according to the journalist. Right. Warner Brothers' decision to shelve Adil El Arbi and Bilal Falah's Batgirl movie over 3 years ago was the shot heard around the world of cinema. The choice ignited a backlash from fans that has so far gone ignored. But one person involved in the film thinks there might be some potential for it to be released one day. By the way, I would love this film to be released because I think you would all enjoy it. If you're a DC fan, a fan of CBMs or just entertainment, you would enjoy this film. It's actually a really good film. And at first I was defending this decision, which was wrong. Because I'm an amateur filmmaker, I'm an amateur actor, I'm an amateur writer. I should never, ever have defended Zaslav's choice. But back then I was pro Zaslav and I was just backing him. I thought he was doing the right things. Nothing wrong with being wrong. I was wrong to say that. That opinion is anti-creativity and anti-art. Anyway, I got the chance to watch it. And it was a phenomenal film. Jacob Scipio, one of the film's stars, told the direct in a new interview, "Man, I'm really sad the world never got to see it. But you never know. You never know." He also noted the story of Warner Brothers film Coyote vs. Acme gives him some hope. That was a disgusting decision as well. "It was great that they saved Coyote vs. Acme. I'm going to have a ticket and be buying my ticket and seeing that movie myself. So there's always hope." Scipio told the outlet, the Hollywood... Where am I? See, it's jumping. Where am I? Yes, there's always hope. Scipio told the outlet, "Hollywood's a funny place. And I think if enough people want it, it can happen." So, in 2022, Warner Brothers shelved the Batgirl film as a tax write-off, despite the fact it was nearly finished when the decision was made. The cost-cutting measure not only sparked the backlash with fans, but the gutted reactions from L.R.B. Falah and star Leslie Grace. DC Studios co-CEO Peter Safran went on to claim in 2023 that the movie was not releasable and would have hurt DC. How ironic. Imagine the co-CEO of DC Studios backing the decision to cancel art for a tax write-off. It wasn't releasable. Really? 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 Was Justice League any more releasable? No. Justice League was less releasable. That film was in a disgusting state. Horrible green screens, a man's art urinated upon and recycled, right? But this movie apparently was unreleasable. I fucking saw the movie. Peter, you're a fucking liar. You're a fucking liar. It's a really good, solid movie. It's as solid and as entertaining as Black Adam, another movie I really enjoyed. So you're a disgrace. For that very reason, I don't want you anywhere near DC. Look at the shit you released. I could argue that Superman was unreleasable as well. Now that is a controversial statement, isn't it now? Yeah. Went on to claim in 2023 that the movie was not releasable and would have hurt DC. But Warner Brothers did it again with the well-tested and highly anticipated Coyote vs. Acme in 2023, despite it being finished as well. That backlash was even more intense than Batgirl's, and over a year later it was saved from never seeing the light of day by Ketchup Entertainment, which acquired the movie after a long period of deal-making with Warner Brothers. It is set to finally premiere in theatres August 28, 2026. Hopefully Batgirl will follow in its footsteps. So, right, it's absolutely toxic what happened with Batgirl because the two directors found out from the media. And at the time I was defending Zaslav because I thought he was the new leadership, he was going to be amazing. And as usual, just like when AT&T came in or somebody new comes in, we believe in them. When Hamada took over DC and he was having these exciting plans, I was defending Hamada, right? And I was wrong. I was doing lives and defending him and having a go at Ray Fisher. That was wrong. Ray Fisher was right to go at them then. And I was wrong. As I said earlier, it's okay to be wrong. The worst thing is to not admit when you're wrong, right? To die on a hill when you know he's wrong is pathetic. But what they did to Batgirl was disgusting. But where was IGN's and the rest of Access Media's? Where were they? Where were you when Zack Snyder was being gaslit and pressured when his Justice League movie was put on the shelf and they recycled it with the disgrace that is Joss Whedon's Justice League? Where was your energy then? Where was your energy when we were fighting to release the Snyder Cut? Oh, I know. You were making articles about how we were a toxic fan base and we were wrong. Where was your fucking energy? But when Batgirl was cancelled with a female lead, you got your panties in a fucking bunch over it. Where was your fucking energy? So, to finish off today's video, to see the Snyderverse trending again after Zack's post tells you everything you need to know. There is a great hunger and an interest to restore the Snyderverse. Do I believe the Snyderverse will be restored? Yes, it will. And I'm starting to believe that Zack has a little bit of private confidence that Netflix are about to buy Warner Brothers Discovery.